Hi everybody from a gorgeous, cool morning here in Central Portugal, but that's all about to change because we're still in the midst of this horrible heat wave. And this video shows that in full effect. I'm struggling with work down there in the garden. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's itchy, but I make amazing progress and I'm excited to share that with you. Plus, I also managed to cool down in the pool. I jump in there and I buy a gizmo that I'm hoping, if I can get it set up properly, will help cool everything down. So you'll find out at the end of the video whether I got that to work. I also work on the shelves, harvest some jalapeños, and just have a couple of very, very productive days, I think, despite the heat. So let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning, everybody, from another ridiculously hot day here in Central Portugal in the midst of an insane heat wave. I'm gonna try to get some work done, but I've uncovered the pool because I imagine that while I'm working, I'm gonna be jumping in here, soaking myself off, and then getting back to it because it's gonna be another 40-degree day. And I'm off to a late start because yesterday I went to a local pool. It's only about 15 minutes drive away. It's a beautiful pool and I spent some time with some friends there. Had a few more beers than expected, and so I slept in a little bit today. So I wasn't up at 6:30 this morning. It was closer to about 9, and it's about maybe 11 a.m. now, and I'm finally getting started on the work. So today we'll start off with a little bit of sad news that I haven't shared yet, and then I'm gonna get into some serious weeding work, and then I've got loads and loads of jalapeños to harvest. So I've stomped my feet, I'm feeling good, feeling refreshed, and it's time just to dive into the work and see how far I can get before this heat really sets in. So let's start off with the sad, sad news. In amongst this weedy nightmare was Alvin the avocado, Alvin the fourth, and Alvin actually died. Alvin died before the weeds set in, so that wasn't the cause. I think what had happened was all the branches were basically screwed except for this one here. And this one finally went, and I tried my hardest. I was giving the tree loads of attention, watering it like crazy, and then I just gave up. And as you can see, I've sort of given up on this entire area. And today, this morning, my plan is to tackle the weeds because in here we have some chili plants that are definitely ready to harvest. So I think I can get a few jars of jalapeños on the go. But first, I have to actually find them. Okay, it's pretty disastrous in here. I'm hoping these just pull up without too much effort. Nope, they're not doing that. So, what's my plan? What is my plan? Oh, the grass is okay. So let's see if I can just pull up what I can, and the rest I'll come at it with a tool. But honestly, I've really let this area get out of control. The weeds are all around the pots, and they're also in the pots. And the jalapeños are doing really well. So these are the plants that I overwintered last year. And I have a few other pots over there that are doing great. They're a little weedy, not as bad as here. But I've got plenty of jalapeños to pick. That means I can start processing again. And that means I can start bartering again. People in this area really like my jalapeños. They're very expensive in the supermarket. And the ones I make are a lot more affordable. And I think a lot tastier as well. But first, I have to liberate them from the jungle. So, I guess I'll just dive in and yeah, tackle this disaster. I keep finding potatoes all over my land. I don't know how it got here. I guess I had them in the compost, and yeah, they just keep popping up. So that's exciting. One thing that's extremely annoying about this time of year is these grass things. They stick on you And if you can pull them off in one go, it's not so bad. But oftentimes they kind of get stuck on you and it makes everything very, very itchy and horrible. So I could also just trim this, but I feel like pulling the weeds out at the base is gonna mean they'll be gone for longer. So I'm just gonna stick with it, get these things out, clean the space up, and liberate the jalapeños because there's a lot more in here than I actually realized. So that's excellent news indeed. So these three plants have been completely enveloped, and I think they're suffering, so I might move them somewhere else. They're getting taken over by the comfrey, which is this stuff, and it's wonderful, so I'm gonna actually pick that and make some comfrey tea a little bit later. But you can see the leaves on this one, they've been suffering. I don't know if they've maybe not been getting very much water because it's been blocked by this. But yeah, I think they need a new location because the rest of the plants are looking absolutely great and have loads of jalapeños on them. So I'm just gonna keep powering on with this. Everything is itchy. I have these things stuck to me all over the place. It's hot, it's not enjoyable, but it has to be done. And I know that once I finish this, I'll be very happy. So here's what it looks like now. And hopefully I can get this done and then move on to a little bit of weeding over here as well because things are getting absolutely crazy. Okay, this is how far I got. It doesn't look like much, but I've taken away all the weeds from around the pots, in the pots. I still need to chop the comfrey, prune back the grapevines. I've got 2 wheelbarrows of weeds, so that's evidence of the work, and I've also done a little bit of stuff over here as well. But the work has been really hot and really itchy. I have these horrible things stuck all over me. They're very annoying. And I think before I push on with any more weeding work, I gotta go jump in the pool. So I probably shouldn't be jumping in the pool with all these things on me, but I'm desperate, and I guess that's what this thing is for. Woo! And this water's pretty cold, so it should be quite hilarious to see me go in. I imagine there will be a bit of a reaction. But I guess the idea is just soak all my clothes, soak my hat, and yeah, get back out there and finish the weeding. So, let's go. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Kind of not. Here we go. It's cold. It's cold. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. Actually, it's pretty nice. It's not as cold as it has been in previous years. Or maybe it's just way hotter today than it has been in previous years because it's quite brutal. So, I might actually just stay in here for a little while, float around on that thing, relax, and gear myself up for another session with the weeds. It's definitely refreshing. So this is where I got to. Everything is a lot cleaner now. I've cut back some of the grapes. I've harvested the comfrey. That's currently sitting in a bucket by the pool. So my plan for later is to stick my feet in the pool, trim off the stems, and make some comfrey tea. And I've got loads of beautiful looking jalapeños on the way, but I'm gonna save these possibly for tomorrow so I can harvest them and process them at the same time. I don't think I have time to process them this evening, but I do have time to process some cucumbers. So I've harvested a few of these. I'm gonna make some fridge pickles, which are quick and easy. I'll put the recipe below. And I'm very excited to have cucumbers back in my life. So I've liberated all the jalapeños, but I didn't get as far with the weeding as I was hoping. As you can see, there's still some behind me. There's a whole jungle of weeds right there. And I think I'm just going to tackle that with a strimmer. It's too hard to pull them out by hand. But I've made some good progress, and the garden is looking really lovely. I've got tomatoes on the way. There's the zinnias popped up. It's looking really nice. It's opened up. The first sunflower has also opened up, and it's looking really lovely. I do love sunflowers. I am questioning whether it was wise to put the sunflowers so close to the cherry tree. I think it might suffocate it a little bit. But one interesting thing about the cherry tree that I discovered, so the tiny bitey ants are gone, and we've got the big ants up here now. But I actually did put this sticky stuff down here to keep the ants off. However, it looks as though the larger ants have been picking up stones. This is my theory. Picking up stones and sticking it on the sticky thing to create a bridge so they can still continue to go up the tree. So I thought that was really, really clever of the ants, if that is indeed what happened. And so now they're up here, they're farming their aphids, and I kind of just keep washing them off or shaking them off every time I encounter them. So yeah, the cherry tree's looking okay, but yeah, I don't know if the sunflowers are a good idea. So I'll keep watching that, and I might have to pull them out later on if they get too big and if the tree starts to look sad, but so far so good. And yeah, everything in here is looking amazing. And yeah, it's just a really, really lovely time of year. Over here, we have the chili plants that I planted this year from seed. So as you can see, they're not going to be growing peppers anytime soon. This is one that's overwintered, and it's got a few peppers on the way. So the garden's looking really good. I'm about to get very busy with processing. But right now, it's all about comfy tea and getting out of these itchy, horrible clothes. So I'm going to change, and then I'm going to park myself by the pool and basically just chop some comfrey leaves. I try to do this quite regularly. You basically just snip off the stalks and stick the leaves into the bucket, fill it with water, weigh it all down with a stone, and in 5 weeks it gets disgusting, but it becomes really good fertilizer. And so this has been a location for this little guy. He's been hiding in the shade as much as possible, and I can usually find him down here by the pool. So I'll let you have your little snooze, and I'm gonna get changed, stick my feet in the pool, and get to work on making some comfrey tea. Well, that was weirdly enjoyable, sticking my feet in the pool, using the tool of joy, which is definitely overkill. So I've got the stalks off. They can go around a tree as mulch. I'll fill this with water, let it get all nice and stinky. And then we're gonna say hi to these little guys. We're just looking completely exhausted with this heat. And I can't help it, but I've got to come pet you because you're both looking too cute. I don't know why he's lying on Mikey, and I don't know why Mikey is letting him do it. How you doing? He's just dead. So it's been sort of a partial victory in the garden. I'm really happy that I liberated the chili plants. I'm going to harvest those tomorrow, get out here with the strimmer tomorrow, and yeah, lots to do. But it was a pretty tough morning with all the itchiness and the heat. However, I think it was worth it. So I'll see you tomorrow for some more work in the garden. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Larry. How you doing? Hot enough for you? Right now, it's still a little bit cool-ish, but it's definitely heating up. So it's been a very productive morning. I haven't even had my breakfast, and I'm about to sit down and enjoy that now. So I'm pretty hungry, and I'm definitely ready for coffee. And I feel like I accomplished a lot this morning. Getting up early and beating the heat is amazing in theory, but it actually is quite difficult to crawl out of bed in the morning because it's so hot at night that I'm not really getting the most amazing sleeps. So I actually was dreaming about strimming and then woke up and then had to strim. So I got up at 6:30, got out of bed, and yeah, I was able to make a start on everything, and it feels really good. I discovered the hose that has been under the grass missing for a long time. The grass is super thick and it took loads of passes to get it done, and I only had 4 batteries, so I couldn't keep going, but I'll do it another morning hopefully and finish everything off. So yeah, I've got my yogurt and coffee, and I feel like it's well deserved because I've also brought mulch up from Sinead's place. She went and got it the other day in her car. My car is actually out of commission. The driveway is empty. It's at the mechanics right now, and I'm hoping to have some sort of response on the car next week. So it's always nerve-wracking this time of year. You have to pass the MOT thing, and I'm pretty sure last year it struggled to pass the emissions test, which is no surprise because she is a stinky car. The exhaust is spitting out some horrible stuff. So I'm really hoping the mechanic can work his magic once again, but this thing's from 1997, so let's see. I'm hopeful, but expecting the worst this year. I feel like these cars can't just keep going on and on, so I'll keep you posted on that, but that's on my mind. So I put the mulch down, I put it around the tomatoes, and the mulch is amazing. It's pine needles, and it's just done a really good job keeping the weeds down, so I'm happy she went and got that. She traded it for some sand, and yeah, so that was good. I also watered the garden, and I'm really happy with how the garden is going. I've got lots of tomatoes on the way, and cucumbers have been doing well. The jalapeños, I'm going to pick those in a little bit, and yeah, things are going amazingly, and I just love heading down to the garden, seeing what's up, and giving it a drink each day. With this weather, you could probably stand to water it 2 times a day, but so far it's so good. I think with lots of mulch, it keeps the moisture in, and so that means I only have to water once. So this thing here is something I dug out from the greenhouse polytunnel. I basically am trying to set up a mister down on my pool area, and I need one more piece to give it a try. So I think I have what I need. Sinead also has a mister over at her place, but it's not a mister, it's just a dripper. It's not working as planned, and so I don't hold out a lot of hope because she's got a lot more gravity pressure than I do, but I'm gonna give this a try after breakfast. We'll see if it works, and if it does, it'll be amazing because then I can have misty air down by the pool, a pool to jump in, and it can be a really amazing hangout space for this crazy heat wave that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. So I'm gonna finish my breakfast, drink my coffee, and then we'll give this a try, and then for the rest of the day, I think I'll probably continue on pointing and try to also finish off the shelves that I started a couple of weeks ago as well. So I've got a lot planned, but I was up early, I'm feeling motivated, I'm feeling energized, and yeah, ready to tackle a whole bunch of jobs that have been on my mind for a while. So I'll see you after breakfast. Not a cloud in the sky. It's about to get brutally hot. I think it's around 11 in the morning. And I'm really hoping I can use this to figure out the mister. So this tap is connected to the water tank, which is filling up right now. It runs here. I usually use this hose to water the front garden, but I found an extender. I've been rooting around for all the pieces I need. And then it comes to here. And I've got this thing here, which hopefully will allow me to connect everything together. So these fittings are all very straightforward, easy to use. The problem I often have is not having the correct thing that I need. So I got lucky, I think. This seems a little loose, but let's see if it'll work. And I'm hoping that this is the attachment I need to at least test this thing out. This is just a temporary solution, but Sinead has a mister down at hers and she couldn't get it to work. So I'm just trying this out before I try to do something more permanent. So let's give it a go. So water is going on. The fingers and toes are crossed. Let's hope this works. I hear something. I see something. Okay, so yeah, it's misty. It's looking good. The water coming out of here is incredibly hot, so I'll need to let that run for a bit, but yeah, this is positive. Okay, so it looks like these are working. I'm gonna sling them up somewhere, probably hanging from this thing somehow. I probably won't get to that right now, but I just wanted to test it out, and it looks like it could possibly work. So that's both excellent and surprising news. Sinead's Mr. thing that she bought is actually a lot more expensive than mine, I think twice the price. This one was only about 15 euros, so super cheap, super crappy. You can feel that it's kind of crappy, but it seems to be sort of working. So I'm going to have a think about how to attach that to the underside of the canvas, but right now, before it gets too hot, I'm going to harvest some jalapeños and cucumbers and get them ready so I can process them a little later today. So I'll probably end up saving seeds from this one because it's long and it's large and it's going to be a good one for making jalapeños. These shorter stubby ones, they're not quite as good. So if I can find a couple of these that are really amazing and save the seeds for next year, I think that would be a wise thing to do. I haven't done much seed saving so far, mostly because I just don't have anywhere to put them and I'm just super busy with other things. Here's another really good one. So I'll pick the finest specimens and keep the seeds and dry them out. And it'll save me some money on buying seeds because jalapeno seeds are difficult to find in Portugal. So yeah, if you can be more self-sufficient with that, that's always a good thing. So I'm going to carry on picking the jalapenos. And then later on today, when the heat is too unbearable to be outside, I'll probably make a batch just for myself and Sinead to use. And once I get more jalapenos, I'll start to pickle them and can them for trading and selling. But right now I'm completely out of stock and I love them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having these on the go again. So the jalapenos and the pickles will wait until this evening, and I've switched focus back to the Tollie Tower. The shelves are still in progress, and I've decided to move the shelf that was in the greenhouse into here. So I'm currently fastening it in with some screws. I've got some little feet there so I can push it to the back, and I've also moved the toilet box a little bit in to create some more space here. So I'm going to spend the next little while focusing on making this ready to put all the tools in here. So I've already put a couple up there, and I feel like if I just get a few more in, it's going to make this thing a whole bunch more sturdier. So this thing isn't going anywhere. It's very sturdy. Although I have to admit the feet are a bit dubious. However, I think because I screwed it into the wall, this thing's not going anywhere. So shelf in, I'm going to stack my tools on there eventually. Now it's time to switch focus back to these shelves and get them actually fastened on. So this is what's held me up. I needed some small screws and I didn't get a chance to get into town straight away. So this has been sitting here neglected for quite a while. And I seem to have bought impenetrable screws. Let's use this. Okay, that was unusually difficult to get into. All right, so each thing can house 5 jars. Not being super precious about how I space everything, but close enough is good enough for me. All right, let's go. That one seems a little too close to the other one. Let's go for a bit more. So getting these ones in is going to be tricky just because of the angle. I kind of screwed up a little bit on the design. Getting the front ones in is pretty simple, but the back ones is tricky. Might need to angle this a little bit. Oops. Pre-drill, then angle. The joys of being a sort of carpenter. I just try my best, but learn along the way. It's always interesting. Keeps things fun. Okay, that can go in there. There you go. Oops. Wrong way. Frustrations. There we go. Oh, gone too far. The wood is splitting. But you know what? We'll just see how this goes. I don't even need 2 of them, but whatever. Okay, we'll use that one for spacing. And we'll use this for bashing. It's a pretty tight fit, which was by design. Oops, or is it? Get in there. Come on. Use this for leveling. A bit more on the other side. Oops. It's not meant to be pretty, folks. It's just meant to be functional. Okay, that'll do. So this needs a lot more organization, but the jars are in, and I'm pretty happy with how this is all gonna work. So once I get around to actually organizing things and arranging the screws and nails, this is gonna be pretty amazing. But I'll need to do that another day because it is extremely hot and sweaty in here. the sweat is just dripping off of me, and I still need to attach a few more shelves. I need to locate some more jars and yeah, get those all in place before I actually start tackling the mess that is my drill bits and screws and nails and all that stuff. So that's gonna be a whole other mission. I am really happy with things so far. The shelf in the corner is gonna be super useful. I'm gonna get all the tools out of the house and onto that. But right now, I think I need to go jump in the pool and possibly think about attaching this mister because it is hot, and if I can get the air all misty down there, it's gonna be an absolute game changer. So I'm gonna go investigate that, but the camera's going away because it's just so hot out here that I just need to get it done. So wish me luck. Hopefully I'll be sitting in a nice misty, cool area very soon. Okay guys, this is my ridiculous attempt at hanging the mister up. My rigging skills are definitely not the most amazing in the world. And I don't know, I feel like it kind of wants to be a mister, but it's more of a dripper, just like Sinead's. But I suppose that's what you get when you pay 15 euros for something as an experiment. I am encouraged by the pressure, so I feel like if I invest in something a bit more expensive, possibly one of the stands that you can just move around, it'll be better. But right now it's just a little bit more of a weird rainstorm, and it's not really helped by the fact that, I don't know, these are all facing weird directions. So I think this has probably been a bit of a failure, and it's even more of a failure considering the water is also kind of hot. So, you know, lesson learned. Maybe don't buy the cheapest of the cheap, but like I said, it was just a test to see if gravity was gonna bring water down here with any sort of force. So I might just hang out here under the little weird rainstorm. It is sort of cooling, I suppose, once the water changes from hot to cold. Yeah, I guess I'll just sit here and see what happens, because it's been a really busy day and it's been really hot, and I think I'm done with work. And I think I've done a bunch of stuff in this video, so I'll say goodbye and I'll continue on with the garden and share the work on that in the next video. And I've got the shelves still to do, I've still got pointing, and a lot more as well. So thanks for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video.